I asked Frank Spotnitz, executive producer of The X-Files, how even after 3 decades, it is still a classic. Here's our conversation.
It's been great that the show has really never really gone away. It's something people still talk about and still watch. And you're right, it's 30 years this September. We're all getting together in Minneapolis actually to celebrate at an X-Files fan convention.
Do you feel like all of this recent UFO news is going to be brought up? I mean, has that become part of the conversation now with the old cast members?
Oh, it always is. And Chris Carter, who created the show, whenever there's one of these stories, which is, not that rare that you get these stories coming across, we always email each other and think, this could have been in the show. This would be in the show if we were still doing it.
We broke the story this week, Frank, that Senator Marco Rubio is now saying that there are other whistleblowers who have come forward. That wasn't known before, that they had firsthand accounts backing up some of what this whistleblower David Grush said about the possibility of, spacecraft landing, and that they may actually have pieces of some of that craft. What do you make of this development from Senator Rubio? I mean, you've been following this stuff for a long time. Do you feel like this is a significant moment?
Well, I think we've known for a long time that UFOs are real, right? Unidentified flying objects are undeniably real. There's many of them the government has come across, and in recent years they've begun declassifying some of these reports, which I think is all for the good. I'm not surprised to hear that there are other military and civilian government employees who are saying that they have these reports. What does surprise me is if it's true what your source is saying, that they literally have physical evidence of spacecrafts or alien bodies. That would be quite a surprise to me. And if that is true, I think the government really has an obligation to release that information. Because if it were true, it would be the biggest discovery in the history of humanity.
Yeah. To
discover that we are not alone in the universe, that there are, that there is extraterrestrial life would change everything. And so it's exciting, it's tantalizing, but I think we all need to see the proof to really be convinced.
Yeah, absolutely. I think most people agree with you. It's one thing to hear the accounts, but people want to see the pictures and the videos and see the documents for themselves. I'm just thinking again back to the X-Files starting almost 30 years ago, and just how it feels like the tone when you have this discussion has changed. I mean, even just a decade ago, you were kind of a crazy person if you were talking about UFOs seriously. That's got to be interesting for you, having been a part of that show decades ago, and now it's like a real conversation. It's not just the X-Files, it's like real life.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. The culture has moved on in so many ways. I mean, the X-Files was really, a child of the Watergate generation, and, the government is lying to you, and there's conspiracy theories. And now, of course, that's all mainstream stuff. And so is interest in extraterrestrial life and in the heavens. And I think the reason why it's so enduring is because regardless of who you are, whether you are religious or you're an atheist or you're agnostic, you can't look up at the night sky and feel humbled and feel the sense of mystery and know that there are things you don't understand. And so I think that was really the secret to the show's appeal. And that's why this will always be interesting to us, because, you look up and you want to understand. And I think the reason the show was successful is because it looked up with hope. But it's very much a Rorschach. Do you look up with hope or fear? Do you think the aliens, if they do exist, they're going to be threatening or they're going to be friendly? And you see different, movies. You can have War of the Worlds, which is, scary aliens, or you can have Close Encounters, which are friendly aliens. I think we're all dying to know, if it's real, what is their agenda?
Since you are now sort of associated with aliens and UFOs from the X-Files days, I mean, do people come up to you with stories? Do people send you tips? Have you sort of become that guy in a way?
Yeah, I mean, less so now than in the old days. I mean, nowadays, I still get lots and lots of X-Files fans talking to me. I'm in touch with a lot of them. It tends to be more about Mulder and Scully and those characters and how much they love them still. But I've met a lot of people who claim to have had, first-person contact with aliens or been abducted by aliens. And honestly, I started out as a Scully. I'm still pretty much a Scully, but they don't seem crazy. They seem absolutely credible. And I've really struggled to kind of explain this to myself. And the best explanation I've been able to come up with is that, we are we're human beings, but we're also animals with 5 senses that are limited. And physicists will tell you that most of reality is beyond our comprehension. We're limited in our ability to perceive what's around us. And so I think that aliens and supernatural phenomena, it's part of this big field of reality that we struggle to make sense of. And so we interpret it in a language that we understand, which are spaceships and UFOs, but it may be something far more profound that is around us all the time, but we're just having a hard time perceiving.
Certainly an interesting perspective there from Frank Spotnitz. You got to admit, I mean, whether you're a believer or a skeptic, this has become a legitimate news story.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.